Coming up on this program, we show you how to get connected. Find out how to choose an internet service provider. Discover the newest form of communication, electronic mail.
Ways down and ready to ride. One by one, billion by billion, and holding up half the sky. Raise your hand if you're ready and willing, if you know it's time. Time for a good old time. Time for a good old time. Time for
Hello, everybody. Shasta Rob's here to hang out and with the Dangerous Canadian. Is that me? Am I? Shasta Rob, did I see you posted some pictures in one of the Discords this weekend about a hike that you did? Looked lovely. I hope everybody's well. A happy birthday to Lane, whose birthday it is today. I don't know if she ever comes around here, but I think she's funny. And so I'll say happy birthday. I hope everybody's doing well. It's Monday. It's Monday, June 16th. I had to look at my watch. I really didn't know. So we have a little talking about to do, and we have some cases to watch. We have multiple cases to watch. It's going to be a fun time. Just keep in mind that you're going to be glad that you don't live with these people, that you are not neighbors with anybody like this, because these people be fucked up in Thurston County, okay? And then I had already made the thumbnail, and I feel like I might actually have to edit that video down. I got it. I have it captured, but it's... I wrestled with it. Hi, Casey Carey. Anyways, and it's hard to explain, and I think I do actually need to edit it before we watch it live. Normally, I'm the opposite. Normally, I'm like a live edit kind of lady, you know. Hence the, 700 lives on this channel and, 60 videos. But, the circumstances of the case are such that it needs some explanation. Regardless, these cases that we're going to watch right now, they don't need no explanation except for what we're going to watch, which is awesome. Awesome, my possums. I would love to hear what you had for dinner. If you didn't like what you had for dinner, tell me what you wish you had for dinner. I haven't had dinner yet. It's still only 4 o'clock in the afternoon here. Oh, also, I feel like I want to... Oh, hold on. My mouse disappeared. Oh, there, it's back. I honestly thought I scheduled this at 4, and I was really on time. I was like, I'm going to be on time today, 4 o'clock. Oh, egg toast bacon sounds perfect. Yes. Oh, leftovers of baked ziti. I mean, I would take that too. But egg toast bacon is and hold the egg sometimes. Sometimes I'm like a half egg kind of girl. What? I'm sorry, what? A half an egg? Yeah. Half an egg. Or, take the egg away, add some cheese. Ooh! When law says taco soup. I love it. Oh, Shane, now you're appealing to the part of me that wants to eat a lot. And that would be wanting steak. Did you guys know that there's only 150 calories in a pound of strawberries? The problem is that I top strawberries. Oh, with sour cream and brown sugar. And I love it. It's delicious. If you haven't tried it, if you think that's gross, go ahead and give it a try, and then we'll talk. I think that's the way that we do it. I think it is. I can't remember what button to click. I cannot remember what button to click. Oh, eat them with Twinkies. Nice. So Thurston County was absolutely fucking bopping today. You guys, they had like 20 cases on the docket. It was nuts. I don't think I've ever had a Twinkie. I'm not trying to be like contrary. This is not rage bait. I'm being honest. I believe I've never had a Twinkie. Shane, I'm gonna have a show on Wednesday in the morning. So if you are in the round in the morning, I'll sing to you. Is it your birthday? Happy early birthday. I've never had a Twinkie. I've heard of them deep fried. Never had one of those either, obviously. But, you know, I really only like one thing cream filled, and it is not food related. So I'm just saying that.
She actually reached out to the clerks. Jason's how many percent back.
Okay, good. All right. So,
They just sent an email that,
oh, here, I can look at it now. I
Yeah.
didn't realize they were gonna come in.
and then they have that attachment, so I just.
Also, we had a fun members only last night. If you didn't get to check it out, go ahead and check it out. Yes, really, Shane, I will be here. Wednesday during the daytime, tomorrow regular.
It's not on me yet.
Same with Thursday, regular time. Friday, I don't know. I have to look at the schedule. Also, does anybody, hi Bad Scooter, does anybody know if I want to make a video, a food video, and I like have an onion and I want to like zoom in on the
Okay.
onion?
So Ms. Hurley,
Okay,
I think you're
Judge!
here in the courtroom somewhere. Why don't you come
need
on
to
up to the
fucking
table?
Hold on. I want to zoom in on the onion, and then boom, I want to back out and it be chopped. What is that called? What is that called so I can Google how to do that? Bill! Oh, you're right. Beep was the word of the day yesterday. Anyways, y'all think about that. I don't know what the transition's called. I don't know what it is. I just want to know what to do. I just need to know what to do. I want to make a cool video. I want to be able to like snap and have. And now I know I am not Harry Potter, and I can't just snap my fingers and things will be chopped up. I know you got to do it. I think the key is that you have to leave the phone in the right place. Macro magic, you guys. These are good leads. Later on, you'll see a botched together video. Oh, that's okay, John. Happy wife, happy life. Don't give her a knife.
Well, there, Mark Neal, are you out there in Zoom? Mark Neal.
I am here.
All right, unmute, start your camera. We're gonna take up case 25163. Yeah, let's see. Just give me a moment as I get everything organized here.
You're blurred.
Okay.
I think it's like
All right, so Ms. Hurley, put you under oath. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes.
All right, Mr. Neal, raise your right hand with me. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Do your honor.
Okay, so this is case number 25163. Ms. Hurley has asked for an order to be issued against you, Mr. Neal. When a temporary order has not been issued, but today is the day to determine if there should or shouldn't be an order under the unlawful harassment laws. I see, Mr. Neal, I'm a little concerned about service. I see a return of service. What did you receive?
I received let's see, basically everything I saw online as far as evidence submitted, other
So
than.
you saw the petition, you've gotten the
Yes.
petition, it says in the upper right-hand corner, petition for protection order, multiple
Notice of
page document.
hearing, Notice of hearing, yeah, petition for protection order, yes.
Okay, good. All right, so that's what I was worried about. The person who served you didn't indicate they gave you that, but you've got that. All right. So, first off, Ms. Hurley, are you still asking the court to issue this order?
Yes, please.
Okay. Mr. Neal, do you have an objection to this order issuing?
Absolutely.
Okay. Let me kind of look at things here. Ms. Hurley, are you prepared to present your case for this hearing?
Yes.
Okay, so you're not going to be thinking you should have brought someone else or other evidence. You're ready today.
Nope. I'm ready.
You're ready today. All right. So Mr. Neal, are you prepared to respond to this request?
I am, Your Honor.
Okay, so there isn't another day. Today is it, right? You're ready. Okay. All right. Let me, as I said, I've reviewed about 18 different petitions today. So let me just re-review so I know where we are.
Literally, like hours and hours long docket today. Oh, look at Paisley of the past.
Your petition's pretty
Yeah.
scant, doesn't say a whole lot. And so I need to hear from you why you think Mr. Neal has committed unlawful harassment against you such that I should issue an order.
This actually goes back about 6 years. There was an altercation between the neighbor and I was present during the altercation. My side of the story and the neighbor's side of the story had matched. The police officers were there.
So what caused you to come to court? And then maybe we can go backwards.
He hasn't stopped. He has a catchphrase. He intimidates, he harasses. I
You
submitted
gotta
the,
tell me what he does. So why did you?
Hold on, hold on. We can't just gloss over. Did she just say he has a catchphrase? I'm sorry, a catchphrase? Like, remember I love you, I'm proud of you, and I'll see you in the next video? Like that kind of catchphrase? That kind of catchphrase? Oh my gosh. What is it? Guys, get your guesses in the chat. What is the catchphrase that Mr. Neal uses all the time? All the time. Also, extra points if you come up with a catchphrase for Paisley, personally or professionally. Give it a shot. Have at her.
Finally come to court after 6 years?
so his granddaughter and my daughter are friends.
All right.
And I have called the non-emergency number many a times and they said, just due to the fact that I do not have a contact order, a no contact order, there's nothing that can be done. He's not physical. He is harassing, he yells, he calls my name, he calls me names.
What
He-
kind of names?
He's called me a bitch. He's called me a liar. He has yelled at my son, but that's nor here nor there. But I've asked him plenty of times. I had the video submitted from August. I work for the state. I was telecommuting. He is yelling at my neighbors through the fence. I had come out to witness that and
So
videotape this
and that was
August incident that's in
August
there.
of 2024.
Yes,
So what
correct. This was
happened
last August.
recently? What happened that caused you to
Um,
come to court? Why did you finally come to court?
Due to the fact that my daughter now drives, has a job and is independent, I don't have to longer worry about that burden when his granddaughter comes over.
Okay.
I don't have to worry about that burden. And that's been the big thing. So now that she's independent,
All right.
he came out one Sunday morning and it was a 6:40, 6:30, 6:45, 7:40 in the morning. And he's over in his yard and he's just singing his little catchphrase he gives to me that he's done. He always says, I'm waiting. He is waiting for me to change my testimony about the incident that happened 6 years ago. He's been yelling. I've asked him many, many of times to please just leave me alone. I've had to go to the doctor due to anxiety. I didn't leave my house. That is on the tape. I've asked him many of times. I finally put a privacy fence on my side, not connected to our fences, but I did put a privacy vine up. So he, just leave me alone. And it's nonstop. It's nonstop. This last Sunday, right
I gotta
before,
understand what's nonstop. So you think he
Every-
wants you
every
to
time I-
apologize?
every
Is that
time I
it?
leave my house,
Okay,
he yells, I'm waiting, or he yelled over his lawnmower the other day when I was walking my dog. I personally go around the other side and avoid him. I do never respond. I never talk back, except for this Sunday.
okay.
I let my dog out and all I hear is, I'm waiting, singing, mocking, whatever. And I just finally said, just please, just leave me alone. And he goes, I will never leave you alone, ever, ever. So that kind of threatened me, that kind of scared me a little. And I said, Mark, I'm just gonna call the cops. And he goes, ha, ha, ha. No, you won't. That was enough for me to take charge, take control. I need to put this in order. I would like for him to just leave me alone.
Okay.
Stop talking to me. Please quit calling me names. Please quit intimidating me. My kids, leave my animals alone. Don't come near me.
So
It's-
what is
it's-
he, all right, so let me kind of detail
Sure.
that.
Sure.
What does he do to the kids?
Well, he was harassing my son for a little bit. And unfortunately, I unconnected the Ring camera
So
and I
in what,
didn't
in
send
what
it.
way? What does harassing mean? What did he?
He just was, like, I'm not sure what he said to my son, but my son came in and said, hey, Mark's saying stuff to me. And I was like, okay, what'd you do? He said, I walked away. So he walked away. I did bring it up in the video, said, please leave my son alone.
And that was back in August.
That was back in August. And
Okay.
I've asked him time and time again. I just haven't had much contact with them, but it's just getting to the point where it's almost scary and it's not okay. I have 2 kids at home.
So
I-
you say he bothers your animals? What does that mean?
I don't know if he does or not. I just
Okay.
want to make sure my animals, I don't want him to
No, no.
poison my animals through. I know he has dogs, so I would assume he would not do that, but I
But-
just need to protect everybody in my house.
So you don't know?
I don't know.
So August of 2024, then that event.
That event was big. I work for the superintendent's office and I was telecommuting. And he was outside yelling at the neighbors. That was the fight that the same people that he got into an incident with 6 years ago. I took my camera outside and I said, Mark, I am on a state meeting. And if someone hears you screaming, yelling, cursing, racial, whatever you're yelling over there, if someone hears that, they can call the cops. I'm telecommuting. They need to make sure I'm safe and I can work at home. And that's when I asked him to just leave me alone. He came at me at the fence. I tried to banter with it. I just couldn't do it anymore.
He said, come at you at the fence. What does
He
that mean?
came from his side of the yard to my side of the yard to state his point. He's been trying to state his point for 6 years that he wants me to change my story from the fight that he got into. He wants me to change my story. He pushed my neighbor and my neighbor punched him in the face. And
Had
unfortunately,
you had to go to court to testify or something?
no,
Or-
we
Did you give information?
we
to
did. We had
law
police reports
enforcement?
at that time.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was
that's
6
what-
years ago.
And so you talked to police about an event that happened 6 years ago.
At that time.
And you've
yeah.
been hearing about it since.
And I have literally, not only has it not led up, it's increased a little bit more each week. I mean, he was
Meaning?
served on that Thursday, the 6th, and on Sunday morning, the 9th, which I did not put in there. He was harassing me at 6:45 AM and I called the police
When was
again.
this? Back in August?
No, just this last Sunday on the 9th.
sixth.
And I called the police
Okay,
officer and he
yeah.
said, try to get him on recording, but I've been taking my phone out every single time I let my dog out. And I don't think that's okay.
All right.
I just want to
So-
live in peace.
All right, so the August 24th event happens, you go out, it's the same. And then since August 24th, it's a long time, almost 10 months. So
It doesn't stop.
what does that mean? How often during the day?
Anytime, like if I let my dog out in the morning, I'll just get that I'm waiting over the fence. So immediately I'm anxious, I'm nervous. That scares me. I don't know what he's gonna do. I don't know what he's capable of. I'm not gonna retaliate. I'm not gonna fight. I'm not doing that. I've got kids that are watching me. Absolutely not. So and when
Right.
this police officer came in, or when I spoke to this police officer on the second, I said, okay, that's what I need to do. I need to put a no contact order.
So
I
when
just need
you-
him to leave me alone.
So when you go out for the dog, so this is a daily event?
If he's out there in the morning,
He's out,
yeah, if he's
right.
out there, he'll say something.
All right, and then, so you share a property line,
We share a fence,
obviously,
yep.
a fence.
Yep.
And do you share any roads or anything?
We
All
share a
right,
sidewalk. I mean, I have a public sidewalk, but I don't even want him on my sidewalk.
well.
I
all
know. I mean, and that's what I requested because I can't request feet because he is
Okay.
my neighbor.
All right, and so you just want him to stop talking to you?
Yeah, and please stop harassing me.
And that
I can't say
means-
anything for the neighbors because
What
that's on
does
the
that mean
neighbors.
to you?
Stop saying I'm waiting, stop smirking and murking and all of that kind of stuff. Basically, stop being a bully. I'm 49 years old. Like my kids are teenagers, you know, it's really difficult, but I've held my ground and I've stood on what I believe that at this point, this is a legal matter.
So stop talking to you. Stop.
Like,
look-
stop
smirking.
yelling at me, stop yelling at me.
Don't
Stop telling me
communicate.
to change my story and that he said in the video, he will hold this burden till his grave. That's harassment, that's intimidation. And when he said that he will never, ever give up,
Mhm.
that's enough to make that scary.
So so tell me, why is that scary to you?
Because I don't know what he's capable of.
Right.
He does not let it go. I said, I'm so sorry that we disagree. I've asked him many a times, I'm sorry that we have different perspectives of the situation that happened 6 years ago. He won't let it go and he refuses to let it go. And that's why it's come to this.
And the 6 years ago was, you watched
yeah.
him do what?
I watched an altercation where he pushed my neighbor and my neighbor unfortunately was able to defend himself and punch him.
Okay.
Yeah, and he was really disheartened that his story wasn't the same as ours. He told everybody the cops lied, everything. So it's I just don't know what to do on my part anymore. So I filed for this no contact order.
Okay. So you're asserting that since August, at least of 2024, whenever you take the dogs out, he's there saying, I'm waiting, and confronting you about
Yeah.
something. And that would be at least once a day or twice a day.
Well, and once a week, it could be every other day. I mean, I take my dog out. I have lunch at 11 o'clock every day. I took my dog out. I noticed he was mowing his lawn about a week ago, right before this order.
Hold on, lunch at 11? What time is her day starting? Ma'am, what time is your day starting? If I speak to you like this, I don't want to cover my cleavage. My cleavage is one of my best assets around. 11 seems so early to me for lunch. I love a late lunch. A late lunch, one of my favorite things to do. I'm talking 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock is when a Paisley likes to lunch.
And I purposely went across the street and went around the block. His lawnmower was still going and he screamed at the top of his lungs, I'm waiting.
You said in your petition that he's yelling slurs, quote unquote slurs.
Oh,
What
he
does
calls,
that mean?
well, he yells racial slurs at the neighbors because they are not Caucasian. So whatever he yells at them, I can't prove except for what
What's
was
he
on that
yelling at
video.
you? What's he yelling at you?
Oh, he calls me a bitch. He calls me, whatever names that he chooses for the day. But I've asked him very kindly, don't call me names.
Okay, so,
I've asked him.
all right,
I just don't want to be called names. I'm 49 years old.
all right. And all right, and so then kind of a daily event, and finally you end up here.
Yep.
Just because anything special
I
happened
don't
that
know.
caused you to come in?
I don't know what he's capable of. I don't know what he's physically capable of.
Mhm.
Is he so angry at me? Will he slash a tire? Will he throw an egg in a vehicle?
So
Will
it's just-
he,
so
does he
it's-
have
Yeah,
weapons?
we're all supposing, but
Right,
so,
and that's
so
why
it's
I
kind of
want to
the
protect myself.
culmination that caused you
Yes.
to come. There wasn't anything in particular.
And the mental stability, I don't know where, where everybody is at. And
There
I just,
wasn't any particular new event. It's just
no,
a daily
not
event.
between just the way he said it that Sunday, me filing. My daughter's old enough to go see his granddaughter, you know, at the mall or whatever nowadays. I don't have to worry
have
about
to be
that.
in the-
I don't have to worry about that factor anymore.
Okay.
And that was a huge factor. And honestly, Judge, I honestly would have done this 6 years ago
Mhm.
had it not been for his granddaughter and my daughter.
You were afraid of what?
I just was afraid that it wasn't fair to the girls because two adults need to fight. Why would we need to do that? He's nice to my daughter.
Okay,
He's very nice to my daughter, but he's not nice to me.
okay.
So my daughter's not allowed to go over there. So she just now knows that she can see his granddaughter elsewhere. And we've made plans for that kind of thing. So,
All right.
yeah.
And you're saying that when did it cause you to start having anxiety that needed medical attention?
It's been going a long time and it was, I had to actually increase my meds after this August incident. I didn't bring the medical documentation. I didn't think about that, but I had to increase my meds at that time. So,
And you're attributing that completely to his,
well, it's 99% at this time that, I mean, because it's just gotten too much, too close, too much. It's all the time now,
okay,
you know?
all right. And all the time means daily.
Yeah, not, I don't want to say daily, if not once a week, twice a week,
Okay.
but he refuses, he will not say anything. If the neighbors are out, I watched my neighbor's dog. I was taking stuff over to the neighbor's house the other day. My other neighbors were out. My son was working on his car. He was packing his car, whatever he was doing for the day. He didn't say anything to anybody,
Okay.
you know, only when nobody's around. It's really hard.
And how have you told him?
I just want to point out that no, this is not extensions. This is my hair. Somebody with hair extensions would never, because you can see the track. All you can see is my gray ass hair. Believe me, I tell you when I wear Felicia that this is my real hair and it's annoying. I want to cut it off.
To stop, to leave you alone and not talk to you.
Most of the time I just ignore him, but this last time I said, you have got to leave me alone. You have to let this go. And he said he will never ever let it go. He's gonna
Okay.
basically do this until he's in a grave. I don't know.
So that actually sounds like something new.
No, that's
No,
all the
you've
time.
Said that before.
Oh,
I'll
yeah,
never leave you
all the
alone.
time. He said he will never ever let it go. Even
Okay.
says on the video, I will take this to my grave.
Okay. And so you're taking that he's going to continue.
I'm now
to
taking it
taunt.
literally because
He's gonna
after
taunt
6
you
years,
forever. Okay.
yeah.
All right. All right. Anything else before I turn to Mr. Neal?
No, I've never done any reciprocation to him. I've never harassed him. I've never said any names to him. I just want him to know that this situation, it's not okay. And that he needs to not harass me anymore.
Okay. All right. So, Mr. Neal, you've heard and you've read what's being alleged. Let me hear from you.
Okay. First of all, Judge, may I ask if you have seen the video evidence that Ms. Hurley submitted?
First of all, let's just talk about this. I'm laughing and screaming at y'all because I know what you're saying, and I'm laughing, okay? I've been growing out my hair for over a year without dyeing it, and that's what the gray hair is. It's gross when you look up close. That might be the seam that you might think you're seeing. I could get somebody in here to pull my hair if you want. But it wasn't shoulder length last week. The blonde wig that I wear is shoulder length, William. I wear a blonde wig. And then I have this behemoth on my goddamn head. It's a nightmare, believe me. I wish it were extensions because I would get them removed. Also, I have not paid to get my hair done in a long time because I used to dye my own hair. With my sister's help, she gave me all the. I fucking wish I had hair extensions, William. Because here's the thing, if I spent the amount of money it would cost to get hair extensions like this, first of all, if you know anything about hair extensions, girlies with hair extensions would never wear their hair in a ponytail like this. They would never, because exactly what you say, you can see the track. There ain't no fucking track. All there is gray and white hair that's been with me for years. I promise you. I love the engagement that you just got there, though. So great. Also, viewers dropping off as we talk. I love y'all. Be safe, Jonathan.
Yes, so let's talk about that.
Okay. First of all, I'd like to clarify that that particular incident occurred something on the order of 2 to 3 years ago, not last year. And it happened about a few months after the incident with my other neighbor.
All right.
Earlier that spring or something like that.
So your recall, 2 to 3 years, not 6.
Exactly.
May
Exactly.
I ask it, peace? I'm hearing
Yes,
from
ma'am,
Mr.
sorry.
So
So
just to clarify that, as far as what has been happening since then, since 2 to 3 years ago, since that video incident or the incident that was recorded, basically lately, yes, I will every once in a while mention 2 words to her, still waiting.
what does that mean to you?
I'm waiting for her to apologize, for her to acknowledge the lies that she had told the cops.
All right.
I was
And why do you say that? Why do you say that to her repeatedly?
When you are assaulted by a neighbor and are unable to do anything about it, her testimony prevented me to the police about 3 years, 2 to 3 years ago, whenever that incident occurred. Her testimony to the police prevented me from pressing charges against my neighbor. And she insists on telling those lies. And not only telling the lies, she's spread through the neighborhood these lies that I'm the one who actually assaulted my neighbor, not the other way around. I was physically restrained by 2 of them. I went over there to ask if they could please turn their music down, and I was physically restrained by 2 of them. One of them smacked me in the face. I tried to push them away from me. Maybe if she actually did see it, which I question whether or not she did, if she actually did see it, maybe that's what she saw as me trying to push my neighbor away from me. Because again, I was restrained and was assaulted. And in response, he smacked me again. That's what happened. But she says she saw the whole thing and that I was the one who assaulted him. That's what she told the police. Prevented me from pressing charges. In fact, I was told by the officers on that day that if I decided on that, for one, based on Ms. Hurley's testimony, that I was unable to, they were unable to press charges or take any action. And that if I wanted to take action on my own privately, that I would likely come back, I would be the one charged based on Ms. Hurley's testimony. I take that very personally.
So that was 2 to 3 years ago. And have you ever gotten an apology from Ms. Hurley by saying those words, I'm waiting?
Absolutely not. In fact, my wife tried to reason with her, I don't know, maybe a couple of years ago. She's here with me right now if you'd like to hear from her at some point.
So it hasn't worked.
It has not.
Okay. Do you believe it will work if you keep doing that?
I have hope that
Why do
eventually
you have hope of
conscious will
that?
get the best, that her conscious will get the best of her, and that she will acknowledge and apologize, and preferably go to around the rest of the neighborhood and let them know that what she's told them wasn't true.
All right. So what about this allegation that, not quite sure when it happened, but that you've said you're never going to stop, you're never going to leave this alone? Tell me about that allegation.
Well, I think it's the video also clarifies that.
All
But
right.
what I have said in the past, including on, I believe on the first is the incident that she is referred to, is that she refuses to acknowledge and apologize, to leave me alone, and that just let it go. That she wants me to just let it go. And I say, no, never. Not until you apologize.
So you won't let it go, meaning what? That you're not going to continue to say still waiting, asking for the apology?
And keep in mind, one of the things that she's been saying is that this happens every once or twice a week. Not true. Every once in a while, when I am out in the yard or whatever and I see her, I will say those two words, still waiting. That's it. Just those two words. And I'm thinking maybe 3 times this year. So maybe on average once every 2 months that I will say this. I have very little contact with her.
Mhm.
Um,
So how big are your properties? You share a fence. And so how
um,
much?
about, I think something on the order of a 1/4 acre lots.
Okay. Um, and you have a public sidewalk in the area that you live. All right. And you all use the same road and the same sidewalk and
I'll use the
yeah,
sidewalk maybe 3 times a week to go get the mail, and that's it.
okay. All right. So 2 to 3 years ago, not 6, you got assaulted by your neighbor.
Correct.
Ms. Hurley believes her information is true. We heard from her. She told the cops, probably talked about it to others in the neighborhood, is what I'm hearing. You want an apology, and that's why for 2 or 3 years you've been saying when you see her still waiting,
Correct.
and that you're not going to stop expecting that apology. You're going to continue this. Is that fair? Is that what I'm hearing?
That has been my intention, yes.
Okay. And it hasn't worked yet.
Hasn't worked yet.
Okay. And all right. And so do you think that by continuing this, it's going to wear her down to kind of say, okay, okay, I apologize, or what? Will that be sincere?
Well, like I was trying to say earlier, my wife tried to have.
This is a TPO case, Brooklyn. This is the first case, and I'm going to give Courtney an opportunity to say next case in a little bit. Also, I love you guys so much. I wish I had hair extensions. Do you know why? Because if I had the money to get hair extensions, I would also have my nails done and a new bra. But funny enough, here I am in my same blue bra with my nails undone and my long ass hair because I'm cheap. So, I reserve the hope that if I ever go to jail for recording court, that I still look pretty in jail. Apparently, that gets you somewhere.
Tried to explain to her that all I wanted was an apology. Just and apparently Miss Hurley said that she's afraid to acknowledge and apologize because
Well, I
she's
can't really
afraid I
hear all
might
about
push
that.
charges. that
I'll
she,
ask Ms. Hurley that, but your
my wife's
wife
here if
talking
you'd like
to
to
Ms.
speak.
Hurley and then talking to you is,
Yeah,
I don't
my
know.
wife
I
is right
can't.
here if you'd like to hear from her.
Well, I'm gonna hear from Ms. Hurley about that too,
Okay.
but, so, all right, and then, okay. Let me see if there's anything else to ask you. It's a pretty slim petition. I think that's probably why an order wasn't issued, because it was so slim. That's why we have these hearings. What if you never get an apology, Mr. Neal?
Well, 2 words, still waiting. I mean, does
Okay.
it really meet the definition of, what was that, unlawful harassment?
Yeah. All
It
right.
would meet the definition of unlawful harassment?
Well, I have another question. Is there anything more you want to tell me, Mr. Neal?
Absolutely. As far as her allegations of what slurs, obscenities, religious torment, all of the things that she's put in writing, none of it happened. Maybe prior to, it's possible, I have no memory of it, but it's possible that I may have referred to her as a bitch. Not something I would normally do. What's more likely is maybe once I had muttered to myself loud enough to where she could hear, that. But since then, since that video was taken 2 to 3 years ago, absolutely not. No obscenities, no religious torment, no slurs, racial or otherwise. None of that is true. There's no video evidence of any of it, as she has claimed, because none of it ever happened. My concern, one of my primary concerns here is given I am, she has demonstrated to me her clear willingness to lie to law enforcement and the judicial system in her statements, in writing, her willingness to lie. And if you or grant this order, this no contact order, what further jeopardy might that put me in response to her willingness to lie? I mean, in that video, if the video, I asked her, she said that I deserved to be punched in the face. And I asked her, are you really saying that I deserve that? And she says, yes. So, I mean, if she has that kind of contempt toward me, what else is she willing to do? And if she's got a protection order behind her, what more would she be potentially willing to do to, I don't know, get back at me, whatever? I mean, how much her willingness to lie with a protection order behind her might put me in some serious jeopardy. That's my biggest concern. I mean, she already put cameras in her.
All right, so I don't have any further questions of you, Mr. Neal, nor do I have any further questions of Ms. Hurley. All right, so
So, what is she gonna do? Get your guesses in the chat. You can also write a comment if you're on the replay crew. In fact, please write a comment if you're on the replay crew. I've been slip of the tongue there. The replay coup is about to stage a coup, hopefully, in terms of leaving comments, putting us all to shame. So we can play a blame game? What do you think, though? Seriously, I really do appreciate the comments. It means a ton. Miss Vicky P is one of the queens of comments. Also, Christopher Engleby. I actually do get a report, by the way, from YouTube Daddy every month outlining who they say is the best. Just so you guys know, like, that's not a joke. That's real. So if you would like to be at the top of that list, leave comments. It seems to be the way to YouTube Daddy's heart. It's sort of like, oh, I have no shame? Of course, no shame. No shame in this game, William. None at all. I tell you guys the full truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help me God. And that's why I laugh so hard when you think I have hair extensions. When that was the first time I brushed my hair today, you all saw that live. Oh, I love you guys. And I like it too. Oh, you're not going too far, William. Couldn't. Didn't you see me laughing about it? I was texting with my friend.
I am going to issue an order, Mr. Neal. It does meet the definition of unlawful harassment, the taunting that you've been committing for at least 2 to 3 years, if not 6. You know, you're both credible, but what we're talking about is a knowing and willful course of conduct committed by you, directed at Ms. Hurley, which is detrimental, harasses, or annoys. I'm just looking back to the statute here, and causes a reasonable person, not just Ms. Hurley, but a reasonable person, to suffer substantial emotional distress, and actually causes that and serves no legitimate or lawful purpose. All of that is met here. We've heard from both of you. You know, I kind of gave you an opportunity there too. What are you going to do? This hasn't worked. You're continuing to taunt, continue to harass your neighbor in that way. It's unlawful when you've targeted her and have caused this emotional distress, has caused an increase in anxiety medication because of you. You're not getting the apology, apparently. Stop it. I'm going to make an order that's very concise. What I'm going to say is you don't contact Ms. Hurley in any way, shape, or form. You don't talk to her. You don't pantomime to her. You don't talk to her through family, through friends, through social media. In any way, you don't talk to her. You don't contact her in any way. That's the order. So I'm not going to say that you have to stay away from, as you live next door, but you're not coming up to her and staring at her and talking to her. You're not passing messages through her. You're not contacting her in any way. So, and not under your breath that she may overhear. The calling someone a bitch is not unlawful harassment. It's just ugly. The issue is this repeated course of events that you've continued at, and you say that you will continue at. And that's the taunting. So that stops now. So I'll sign an order here that says, do not attempt or have any contact, including non-physical contact, directly, indirectly, through third parties, regardless of those third parties know of this order, except for service of court documents with Ms. Hurley. That's the sum of this order. So follow that order for the next year. Will be in effect until June 16th of 2026 because of your actions of unlawful harassment. This order is available through the Zoom instructions. You can certainly contact my clerk to get a copy of it. But there is no need to serve you notice as you've been here throughout. You know the order. Unfortunately, the way to enforce this is Ms. Hurley would call 911. But that is a very particular order that you don't contact her. And I think that will solve the issue here, is my hopes. Now, Ms. Hurley, if you feel the need to enforce it, then it's up to you to enforce it through 911. If you feel the need, as we come to next spring, for the court to consider issuing this order for a longer period of time, we have to have another hearing. You need to come to the court, ask for the court to do that, give notice to everyone, and we'd have another hearing about that. See, but I'm hoping that a year order will stop this forever. Point this out. So, Mr. Neal, any question about what you're prevented from doing?
Well, no, Your Honor, I do have concerns about my recourse should she should she want to tell lies again? If she reports my contacting her when I hadn't contacted her, what's this leaves me vulnerable. You realize that, right?
Well, I find that there is unlawful harassment committed by you. The law allows me to do this. I think it's appropriate and I'm doing it. We would have a hearing should that ever happen. And everyone would be present and it would be tested. So that's it for today. That's your job, no contact. Any questions, Ms. Hurley?
No, I would just like a copy of it.
Yeah, we'll give you a copy because you're here. Mr. Neal, feel free to contact the court if you want a copy. Use your Zoom instructions to get into the court file as you did before. It'll be there by this afternoon and it's in effect now.
Okay.
Right. That's all for today. Be on your way, Mr. Neal.
Thank you.
That's all for today. No, it's
You
not.
can just
Who
hang
am I
out there
kidding?
while I get this done.
I don't ever want to stop. What's it? What's the line,
Yeah,
Courtney? What's
we'll
that
start.
line?
Figuring that out. Let me just finish this order.
Courtney's actually riding her bike right now, so she probably can't say it, but Vicky knows it. Oh, there they are. Next. Let's go. I love you guys.
Janine Baker?
Yes.
Here we go. Don't nearly fall. I feel bad.
And that red lighted thing, if you could pull that
Hold on.
more in front of you, that's what's picking up your phone, your voice. You don't have to lean into it or anything. Just make sure it's in front of you.
How's that?
Yeah. All right. So we're taking up case number 25162. And let me, and both of you should know I'm looking over here to another screen because all of our files are electronic. And so I am listening, but I'm also looking at what's been filed and all this information. So just give me a moment to get everything pulled up so I can pay attention.
I'm gonna get my water, Your Honor.
Okay, get your water.
That goes for you at
Oh,
home.
sorry, pardon
Hail
me.
hydrate. Hail hydrate. I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here. Please hit the like button also. I love you guys. I know, when I see people in court, I'm like, damn, my hair is pretty good. Considering I'm
All right.
almost 40. Ugh, that was so gross. to
Okay,
say.
so let me put you both under oath. So I've got you here, Ms. Hull, raising your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
All right. Then turning to you, Ms. Burton, raise your right hand. I think it'd be your other right hand. Is that your left hand? Or you flip. Sometimes on Zoom it flips and you need to unmute. Why don't you unmute?
It's flipped.
Okay, so Ms. Burton, do you swear or affirm you'll tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so this is a temporary order that was issued on behalf of Ms. Hull against you. And today is the hearing to determine if that order continues after this hearing or not. And I am,
Oh, Bill, that's so funny. I should make a short and say that. Hit the like button. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Petition granted. Shut the fuck up.
looking at this petition. Give me just a moment. I've reviewed 18 different petitions. Let me just re-review so I know what we're talking about today. And then I'm going to take any information either of you want to tell me here. Let's see.
Her hairline is unfortunate. Mine's 4. But this lady Facebook. I don't use Facebook. Do you know, William? What's funny is that one time, one of my roommates, my roommate said to me, "Hey, so and so is pretty upset that you didn't add them on Facebook." I was like, "What? What are you talking about?" Yeah, he friended you and you didn't say anything. Yeah, did he look at it? I haven't said anything in fucking 9 years on Facebook. I don't go on Facebook. I'm sure there's a ton of people that have fucking sent me a friend request on Facebook that are fucking slighted. In fact, I'll blame that for my lack of social life when in fact we know it's my personality. But I don't have a Facebook page that I use. I used to stalk people on Facebook. I used to be obsessed. You can become obsessed.
All right,
I
so
don't want
first
to.
things
Thank you, Jen.
first. So, Ms. Burton, then you received notice, it looks like June 5th. Looks like you got the temporary restraining order and the petition about this case.
Yes, I did.
Okay, and Ms. Hall, first question is, do you want the court to consider having this order go longer than today? Do you want this order?
Yes, please.
Okay, Ms. Burton, do you have an objection to the court issuing this order?
Yes, I do.
Okay, and then, Ms. Hall, are you prepared today for the hearing?
Yes.
So there isn't anybody else you're gonna bring, no other information? This is it?
Right.
Okay, and Ms. Burton, are you prepared for this hearing
Yes.
to respond?
Yes, I am.
Okay, no other information that you're gonna say, gee, this is it. There is no other hearing after today, right?
To
Okay,
speak for
all right.
myself.
Great, I always want to be sure. So your neighbors, and so Ms. Hull, I've reviewed the information you've given me. Now, the information from, is Mr. Richard Hull your husband?
Yes.
Okay. I see that you filed that information. The problem is there's certainly.
Hold on, Casey Carey. Hi, Mr. Christopher Engelby, my darling. But also, Casey Carey, what's your roommate's name? I want to make a personalized boob shot for him. Within YouTube's guidelines, YouTube Daddy, don't worry. Because I just I'm reading the chat properly. I read the chat, unlike some people.
Legal standard that I have to follow, and that's not signed under penalty of perjury. I have to kind of give it some lesser weight, because of that, but I can certainly hear from you and what you know. Not what others are telling you, but what you know, not hearsay. That's what others are telling you about things. It's what you know. And so the email that we received from someone that you filed as exhibit, also, I have to kind of pull back a little bit from that too, because it's not under penalty of perjury and they're not here for me to cross-examine and judge credibility. So, and Ms. Burton doesn't have a chance to do that either, but I can certainly hear from you, as you've said in your petition, and anything else that's other than your petition you want me to know. And then I'll turn to Ms. Burton on her response. But what would you like to say about the issues that got us here?
Well, on the Sunday that this happened, I had, I'll digress a little bit. I had about 10 minutes prior to this incident, I had broken up a situation where my son had been hit in the face with a basketball by the older kid, one of the kids that her daughter plays with. And I had just dealt with that situation prior. I can come back to that if I need to. The kids were trying to get him to say.
Tell me what actions Ms. Burton took that you think are unlawful harassment.
My son came home sobbing that she had screamed at him. And it had been about a week prior I'd witnessed his little friend. It happened to his little best friend too.
How old is your son?
You guys, you saw her do it there, and we need to talk about it. a bra comes into this case, and it's not my bra for once. Funny that. Casey Carrot, I know, I'm just joking. Mac the Knife is here too, you guys. What a lovely night we're having. But seriously, what is going on in Thurston fucking County? You didn't see it? I'll back it up. Back it up 10 seconds. Watch her adjust her bra straps. Oh yeah, Jonathan. I read every word. Every word. I promise. I really do.
Screamed it in, and it had been about a week prior. I'd witnessed his little friend. It happened to his little best friend too.
How old is your
Um,
son?
He's 9.
Okay.
He's
Did you hear any of this, see any of this?
the incident prior that I broke up between the kids. Yeah.
Okay.
So I
But
walked
I mean,
over.
the actions of Ms. Burton, did you hear her screams? Did you hear her words?
I had just been over there, and I came in and I was cleaning my house when my son came in crying that she
Okay.
screamed, and I just walked over there to tell her to quit, that if she needed to yell at somebody, she could yell at me. He's disabled. He's intellectually disabled, cognitively delayed. He's been in
So your
speech.
son comes in crying,
Yeah.
and it's soon
And I
after
walked
the
over
event.
there
And
and
what did
she
he?
answers the
Slow
door.
down. I have a question. Your son comes in crying. He's all upset. It's soon after it occurred. What did he tell you?
He said that she screamed at him. I think the incident prior might
Was
have
he able
some
to tell you
bearing
what
on
she
it.
said?
I don't know what,
Screamed at her.
yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
And so I went over there, and like I said, I think it has some bearing on the incident prior with the children. If I have time, I can go into that, or I can come back to it. But I knocked on her door and she said, "I'll be with you in a minute. I'm talking to the landlord," which I confirmed with my landlord she wasn't. And I said, "I'd like you to talk to me now. If you want to scream at somebody, why don't you scream at me?"
Mhm.
And she said something to me. I said, "What are you talking about?" She goes, "Well, why don't you put a bra on?" At that point, I realized she'd been drinking.
Mhm.
I tried to interact with her a little more. It didn't go well. It didn't get anywhere. I did tell her she was a crazy drunk B word, and I wasn't going to talk to her anymore. I went to walk away, because I told her, I said, my son's developmentally delayed. Gabe's developmentally delayed. She goes, my kids are developmentally delayed. I have developmentally delayed kids. I said, okay. I went to walk away. She's yelling at me that my husband's going to lose his job because of me. I went back. I went back to my house. Then I got a water and walked over to a friend of mine's apartment that lives upstairs. And I was sitting on her balcony talking with her. And at that point, I saw, when I walked by to go there, she's hollering at me, "Where is your husband, Mary?" I said, "That's none of your business." And I went upstairs to my friend's house and I saw my husband pull in. And within a few minutes, I saw her walking that way with her phone up, because her building's here, my building's back here. And he was sitting outside at that point. And I called him and I said, "She's heading your way." He said, "I know." That's when I went back to the apartment. My older son was
Let me
there.
back you up here. So what does your husband do for a living?
He's the maintenance supervisor at the apartment buildings we live at.
Okay, and why, so you hear from Ms. Burden, what about his job?
She kept saying that I was going to cause him to lose his job, implying that in some way she was going to try to make him lose his job,
Okay,
because I tried to come talk to her about not continuing to scream at my son.
so you both live, given the addresses, that's why I was a little puzzled, but you both live in the same complex.
Complex, yeah, not the same building, but same
Yeah,
complex.
okay, that's why, yeah, both have apartment 101.
Right.
Okay. And so
So
has anything come of effect to
that
your
point-
husband's job?
no, at that point,
No, okay.
if I may, at that point, because I was back at the apartment by then, she said if she told him that she wanted to talk to him, and he said, "I'm not going to talk to you. You're drinking. You're drunk." And she said, "If you don't talk to me, I'm calling the police." Well, a little bit later, he refused to talk to her, and a little bit later, the sheriff showed up, And the police told me that she called them and said that I had threatened, in their words, that I had threatened to kick her ass, which I had not done.
Okay.
And I asked them, is there any recourse I can take? She's constantly yelling at other kids. She's yelled at my son. I don't have a
So,
record.
let me back you up. So you did not say that. The only thing,
It's Men's Mental Health Month. Is it the whole month, Jonathan? That is a very important issue. We talk about mental health around here all the time. And we all know I love a man. Why no birthday for you this year, Christopher Engleby? Isn't it July 7th? Or the 12th? See, the problem is my brain doesn't understand things. I'm stupid. I'm pretty sure it's July the 12th or the 7th. But we'll celebrate your birthday, Christopher. We love you.
that
Right.
you're admitting to here is you called her a crazy drunk. You said B word. Does that mean bitch?
Yes.
Okay.
And I did tell her she was a piece of shit human as I walked away because of the things she was saying.
Okay.
I'll own that.
7/12, didn't I say that? July 12th? I remember you. And I love you. I mean, I remember your birthday. Also, I'm getting offended by the judge saying you're a crazy drunk bitch. I'm not a crazy drunk bitch, judge. You think that I could ever get that stoned, William? That is so incredibly cute. It's never happened in my life, and I have gotten so fucked up. Oh, so funny. I love you guys. Yeah, love you guys.
Has there been any time in the past that you may have said something along the lines that you heard from the police that you said? Did you ever threaten to kick her ass, ever
Nope,
threaten her
that's
harm?
why when they told me that, when they looked at me, they asked me, they said, well, she called us and said you threatened to kick her ass. I said, I've never done that. Do I have any recourse if she's, I said, can I get a harassment order? And the officer said, yes, I would get there first thing in the morning. It's first come, first serve, which said to me that not only was she trying to get me in trouble for threatening her physically, but that she was going to try to get an order against me for something I would never do. I have never been in a fight. I didn't threaten to physically do anything to
How
her.
long have you both lived in this complex that you're aware of?
We moved in about a year ago. I don't know how long she's been there. I know that
A year. All right.
there have been
And your husband's been working there how long?
over a year. It's
Okay.
been
So he started work and then you moved in there and here we are.
right.
And when did all this kind of bubble up, this conflict? When did it first begin?
It all happened. It all happened that day. I had already been aware personally of her yelling at other kids and heard her more than once
Okay.
screaming at kids. But on this particular day, she screamed at mine.
All right. And you don't know what she said, but you talked to her and then an
Tried.
ugly comment. All right. Just looking at the things that you filed here, and if I have some questions before I turn to Ms. Burden, let me just look at things here.
I'm
And if I
laughing.
may, Your Honor,
Judge.
there was an incident prior,
Ma'am.
like I said, that I can refer back to, that I know what happened, and
You were there?
I was in my doorway. My apartment's here. The kids were playing right down, kind of off to the side. Her apartment's here. They were kind of over here.
Mhm.
And my son had, about 10 minutes before that, come in with a fat lip from a different child that had hit him in the face with a basketball that plays with her daughter. And he had just gotten hit in the face with a basketball. So, but I know that whole thing, and I had gone down and sent that child home. And
How does that relate to your
that's why I didn't,
allegation
that's
that-
why I didn't, that's why I said, if I have to come back to it, I can. I don't
Yes.
know.
So how does that have to do with what unlawful harassment committed by Ms. Burton, that incident?
Right, it doesn't.
Oh, okay.
I'm just,
All right. I'm not missing something.
I'm just
All
saying
right.
that all happened around the same half hour of time.
Yeah, it was a bad day. All right. Kind of look through. Can you give me the packet? Thanks. Just make sure I got everything here. And so this was all, oh, let me get back to it. On June 1st, which was that Sunday. Okay, and all right. Anything else before I turn to Ms. Burton?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, all right, Ms. Burton, you need to unmute. And then what is your response to this allegation that you committed unlawful harassment against Mary Hull?
I've read through the statement. I'm pretty shocked because there's a lot of exaggeration, there's a lot of slander, and there's outright lies.
Tell me what you think. Tell me why you don't believe you committed, you disagree with his petition. Tell me your side of things.
Go through what happened that day. I've been here since April 2022. I've never had any complaint. According to my landlord, I double checked with her. My intention, just before I start the story, my intention was never to have Rich lose his job. I was very specific when I spoke to Liana, our landlord, that he is a great employee. He had nothing to do with it. He wasn't involved there. It was her. So what happened was this story. So I was very clear with that. I was very adamant about him not losing his job or his position. I myself work from home here. I work 10 hours a day. And
So what do you remember about June 1st? Tell me about June 1st.
I was in the house and the kids were outside playing. And there's some prehistory to what happened with Gabe. Gabe is known, I know he has special needs. My grandson has special needs too. I have a son that's schizophrenic, so I'm very familiar. I would never insult anybody, or especially a child, about having these kind of issues. But Gabe, he's aggressive, as you know, on top of things. He's calling the kids
So
the
what
N-word.
happened? Tell me what happened from your point of view. Let's get
This
there.
is why I'm trying to tell you what happened, because I've talked to Gabe before, a couple times, about not talking to the kids, or cursing, or throwing rocks, or sticks, or dirt.
So
or
do you
spit.
have kids involved
Yeah,
in this? little
I'm a
thing?
raising, yeah, and one of them's here to testify, because she was standing right there. She's
I'm gonna
12.
hear from you.
Okay,
So,
I was
so
in
you
my
have a
house.
child that interacts with Ms. Hull's child.
Occasionally, yeah, I kind of tried
Okay.
to limit.
So
the-
tell
he
me what
just-
happened. What I'm being told is that, you read the petition.
Yes. Okay.
I'm being told that you yelled at Gabe and then he came home crying. So what happened?
I was in my apartment. The children came in and told me that Gabe was saying the P word, threatened to kill some of the
What
kids.
word?
Pussy.
What word?
Pussy. I'm sorry. The P
Okay.
word. And he was saying all kinds of words.
Oh my god, I got startled. We have to go back and listen to this as she screams pussy in court. Absolutely screeches it. Thank you once again, Zoom Court, for this beautiful exchange. Absolutely beautiful exchange. Can I get some pussies in the chat? Oh, look at her. I think I have to go back another 10 seconds. We're gonna go back. We're back 20 seconds in time. But now you know what to look for. Look at Christopher Engleby coming through with $2 for the P word. Fun. Pussy. P to the C. P to the C. Thank you, Christopher.
I was in my apartment. The children came in and told me that Gabe was saying the P word, threatened to kill some of the
What
kids.
word?
Pussy.
What word?
Pussy, I'm sorry. The P
Okay.
word. And he was saying all kinds of words again. I'm sorry I had to say that. I'm embarrassed.
This isn't-
So stop interrupting. I know this is tough, Ms. Hall, but you're on record. You're interrupting my record. So keep your comments to yourself. I know this is difficult for both of you. It's always difficult when people are talking about these situations. It's emotional, so just keep it inside. And don't make comments, roll your eyes, do anything like that. All right? So I'm hearing from Ms. Burton. So Ms. Burton, go ahead.
Okay, so the kids came in. They told me that Gabe was doing things again, saying words, cursing. They said his mother had come down previously to tell him not to curse, so she was aware he was doing it. After she left, I didn't see that,
Did
but
you
they just
see
told me.
any of this or you just heard
No,
this from the kids?
yeah, and she'll tell you.
Okay, all right. So
And
next,
so I told him, don't play with Gabe anymore. That's it. And Gabe was walking, actually, he was running by chasing a kid named Kingston, and I was standing at the door, and I said, Gabe. And he stopped. I said, my voice was firm. I was not yelling, but I said, Gabe, that's it. You promised me twice. You pinky promised me and gave me a high five another time, promising me you would not be cursing or because he was chasing Kingston saying, I'm going to murder you to Kingston. Kingston's only 4. And I said, that's it. You're not allowed to play with kids anymore. And I was firm. I was not yelling, but I was firm. I said, that's it. You're not playing with Jalen and Layla. They're too old to play with them anyways. You know, they're 15 and 12. He's 9 or some 9 years old. And so I said, that's it. So he looked at me and burst into tears and he ran off. So I was like, okay. And I told the kids, if he comes and plays and stuff, just don't engage with him. You can't play with him. He's too young and he's not, you know, he keeps doing this. Just don't play with him. And so I went back in my apartment. It was, you know, Sunday, I was enjoying myself, and I heard this. It wasn't a knock on my door. It was a bang, 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 bang. She was set at 80 already when she hit the door. So I can understand that something happened, you know, as a kid, it's involvement. I opened the door. She started screaming at me. She was yelling, don't you yell at my son like that ever again if you want to. And I didn't even let her finish. I just shut the door because I was not going to engage with that. I shut the door. And so I just stayed in there for a few minutes and I was thinking,
so
I'm just gonna.
did you say anything at that
No,
point?
not at that time. No, not
Okay.
at that
All
time.
right, so you shut the door and then what?
Sorry, there's weed whacker right outside the window. So I shut the door and I waited a few minutes and I'm like, okay, I need to just bring the kids in, which I've done a lot and it's not fair, but I do that. I don't let them out there playing if something's happening. So I went to go out to get the kids in and they're over here playing basketball and they're my grandchildren. I'm raising my grandchildren, 3 grandkids. So I've had them since they were babies. So I start to call them in and then her neighbor comes, and I don't know her. Her neighbor and her neighbor's husband comes, and me
So
and
what
her
was your
start
next contact with Ms.
I'm
Hull?
telling you, I'll get into that.
With Ms. Hull, not with her neighbor, not with her husband, but with
I'm
Ms.
just
Hull.
telling you the reason why I was outside. I wasn't in my
I
house.
know. Tell me when your next contact with
Right
Ms.
then,
Hull
right
was.
then, right
With
after
Ms.
that.
Hull?
Right.
Okay.
She came
And
down
what
here.
happened there?
She came.
What happened?
She came up to and she was standing on the sidewalk by the apartment and she starts yelling at me. She says, don't you know my kid is she said what she said in here. And I said, yeah. I said, my kid has special needs too. I didn't make fun of him. What kind of person would I be to do? I would not do that. And so she starts yelling. Well, you need, I said, listen, I'm not talking to you. I kept telling her, I'm not talking to you. I'm not going to talk to you. Please go home or go away. Is your husband available to talk to? Because he's much more reasonable. This is what I kept telling her. And she just kept yelling. And the kids will tell you, she kept yelling. I'm like, I'm not engaging with you. I'm not talking to you. And I think that made her angrier. And I did tell her, I admit, I said, can you go please put a bra on? Because she wasn't wearing a bra. There's a reason for that, why I said it.
All
Hello.
right.
And see
So
through
you
shirt
agree with
sleeves
those
there.
information. And then what happened?
She calls me all kinds of names. She calls me a fat ass. She calls me a horrible woman and a horrible person, and everybody talks about me, blah, blah, blah. And that she'll kick my ass if I ever talk to her kid like that again. She said it. And just because I'm a bigger girl doesn't mean that I'm a bully and that I fight. I've never been in a physical fight in my life, ever, and I've never threatened anybody. I called the police because she threatened to hurt me. That's why. And she was cursing and calling me names. I've never spoken to this woman before. I didn't go to her house. She came down to me. She has some gall to put a harassment order because
So it all occurred just on that Sunday. Everything kind of came
that's
to
it.
light on
Yes,
that Sunday.
this incident happened that day. And
All right.
so since then, I was coming home on the 7th. I mean, on this order says I can only go in and out of my apartment, and I'm supposed to stay 50 feet from the thing. But we have a common area laundry room, we have a mailbox, we have a clubhouse, we have late access. I have not been able to go out there. I've been sticking to this order for 2 weeks, and when I was out there on the 7th, she's standing up by her apartment, staring down at me on her up above and looking down when my mom was here. My mother's here too. She can say that. Like, why is she staring? And I can't see very well because I didn't have my glasses on. I said, "Is that her?" And the kids are all like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Why is she out there staring at me?" Because I was outside my apartment. It was very weird. If anybody's getting harassed, it's me. She came to my house and I didn't curse her. I didn't say anything to her. I didn't tell her. I
Well,
told her to
Yeah,
talk
our
to her.
hearing here is about the petition that was filed. So, all right, so this all kind of occurs on Sunday
Yeah.
and not good on both sides, it sounds like. All right. And anything else, Ms. Burton?
Uh, can I make some statements about things that were put in their statement?
Yeah,
My
you
last.
should. That's what this is all
Okay.
about.
Well, I want to address some things. I've addressed the things that she said. That those are lies. That's not how it went. It went. I was not wanting to talk to her husband to get him fired or talk to Leanna to get him fired. That was not my intention. So there's no use of like intimidation. I called the police because she told me she was going to hurt me. She wanted to kick my ass and she was using curse words and yelling at me. I didn't say anything of that nature to her. And then we go on to Richard's statements. I thought he was reasonable. Him and I have had many conversations about our children and my children, my schizophrenic son. He also knows why the police were at my house because my grandson was still running away last year. He stopped, thank God. So I was working with the school and the school resource officer, Officer Rose, to find him. So I called the police and the cops to come and check, and then they go look for him. I've never had the cops called on me. I've never been in jail. The last ticket I had
So
was
you
like,
said you were
you
going to
know,
refer to the statements
that's
in
what
the
he
petition.
said.
Let's stay focused. All
Well,
right.
he's saying that people complained about me yelling at the kids. I have yelled at the kids before. I'll give you one incident. There was a 5-foot pile of dirt in front of my window, right in the parking area in front of my window.
So
and
I'm
the
more
kids were-
concerned not with the kids. I'm concerned
Okay.
about unlawful harassment potentially committed against Ms. Hull, and that's what
No,
the
I've never
allegation.
spoken to her before, and I've never spoken to her before. I've spoken to Richard. We had a nice thing, but he's not on the petition. I have spoken to her son quite often. He's out there, with the other kids playing. When I send popsicles and cokes out to my kids, I give them to the other kids. I'm not a mean lady sitting on the lawn saying, "Get off the lawn," screaming at the kids, drinking wine or beer on a chair in front of the thing. I barely even go outside. That's what's so amazing because I work indoors. I have to be here. I work for the Department of Health. I'm on the computer all day. So I'm just kind of shocked about the whole thing. I feel like this is a waste of everybody's time. I don't think it's necessary for harassment order because I don't deal with them. I've made a decision. I told her and I've told the landlady,
Can you
and
hear that?
she agrees. There's been incident with Gabe, another kid.
I wonder if the audio picks it up. I can hear it. It's all I can hear. Oh, thank you, Jesus.
Kids and other kids with Gabe and all kinds of stuff going on. My kids are too old to play with them. I want to enjoy my apartment. They enjoy their apartment. And we just don't speak to each other. And that's the way it should be. Don't come to my house, knock on the door threatening to kick my butt anymore. Or call me a fat ass. Leave me alone. That's it. And the kids won't play with Gabe anymore. That's just the way it is. And it's sad, but he's too young. They're
Right.
older. I need to not play with them.
Well, let me kind of review something here real quick before I see if I have any further questions of you, Ms. Burden.
You can talk to my granddaughter too, Layla Devine. She's there. If you need to.
So, all right, so Ms. Hull, Ms. Burden, I'm ruling here, it's not an argument. I'm not issuing any further order. What I have to find under the law is not what's occurred here. It's uncomfortable, it's ugly. Obviously, it's one event here, it went on a little bit. I have to find a knowing course of conduct. I have to find that Ms. Burden has knowingly and willfully engaged in a course of conduct directed specifically at Mary Hull with the intent to create substantial emotional distress. I don't find that. I find a misinterpretation. Maybe she yelled, maybe she firmly corrected. Both of you are credible. Sounds like you need to just stay away from each other's. The kids, you all are in control of your children. You decide who they have contact with or not. There just isn't anything defined under the law as unlawful harassment. It's uncomfortable and a bad situation and maybe an obnoxious neighbor, but that's not a basis for issuing the order pursuant to the law. So there will not be any order after today. I leave it to the two of you to deal with your living situation and your children as you will. Ms. Hall, you have a question?
I do. So do I have any legal recourse if she continues to say because under oath, I in no way physically threatened her. Do I have any recourse against her saying if she continues to cause trouble and say, I wouldn't threaten somebody physically. I'm not even physically.
So I'm not here to dispense legal advice. What I can tell you is I don't find unlawful harassment on your petition committed by Ms. Burden against you. And that's the finding. So that's why the order isn't in existence. Sounds like the two of you don't want anything to do with each other and don't want your kids to have anything to do with each other. So that's up to the two of you. And I'm going to give you a copy of this order if you'd like. The denial of your request is the law just doesn't allow me to issue this order. So Ms. Burden, that order will be in the court file. You can access it. And the order is no longer in effect.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. Thank you.
So you can be on your way.
Thank you.
That's it. That's all. Tomorrow there's more, but tonight we'll say goodbye. Seriously, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for giving me a laugh about my hair. My hair, keyword my. Tomorrow the show will be around this time, earlier, 3:15. Let's say 3:15. Actually, yeah, 3:15. It's gonna be great. You don't want to miss it. I promise. Thank you so much for being here. I'm gonna leave and go ahead and leave a comment for me. I love you guys too. Thank you so much for being here. Oh my god. Oh my god, she says as she knocks her phone over again. And she thinks to herself, that's all there has ever been. Do me a favor, remember that I love you and I'm proud of you, and I will see you in the next video. Okay, bye.
Ways down and ready to